Hello and welcome back to the Ascent Cycling podcast for a bit of a one-off. We are currently on the race day of the Giro d'Italia, and earlier today you may have seen that we did a preview of stage 11. If not, you can go ahead and listen to it. But today's podcast is going to be a bit different. We're going to say our predictions, give some bold claims for what's going to happen in the next 10 days of the Giro d'Italia. We've got 2 more weeks of racing, but only 11 stages, if we're being honest. So we're at the midway point of the race, and we felt today was a good way to just blow off some steam and say what we think is going to happen. Joe, how are you?
I'm absolutely brilliant, thank you.
Perfect. I believe you've got some outrageous statements for us. But the way this is going to work, we're going to first give our GC top 5, debate roughly on it, then give our prediction for Ciclamino, Maria Azura, then I'm going to say some things I saw on Twitter and I want people to discuss them because I think they're completely foul. And finally, there's some quick predictions here and there of what's going to happen over the course of the next 10 days.
Exactly. So looking at the current GC situation, I mean, we have 9 riders within a minute of Egan Bernal at the first rest day. So it's still all to play for, despite us taking quite a lot out of the first 10 days. Bernal looks great. Simon Yates doesn't. They're still within a minute. So it's all still to play for. So I guess, Guillaume, I'll jump in and give my GC prediction, shall I?
Please do.
So I'm going to be really bold here, and I'm going to say that Egan Bernal is going to win the Giro d'Italia. He's going to end in Milan in the pink jersey. But I feel like I've been a little more bold with the rest of my podium. I've gone for Giulio Ciccone, second place, despite there being 30 kilometres of time trialling still left in this race. And I've gone for Hugh Carthy to round it out for EF.
Wow. Okay. Mad. Very well then. I think the things I saw on Twitter aren't the most outrageous thing I'm going to hear today. But I mean, when we take a look at my top 5, because I'm a bit more extensive, I too in first place have Egan Ali Bernal Gomez. I think it's a bit of a bold pick. It might not look too good right now, but trust me, in the next few weeks, I think he can step up. In second place, I have Alexander Vlasov. And in third place, I have Remco Evenepoel. I've got fourth place, Giulio Ciccone, and fifth position for Romain Bardet. I don't know why. I really back him this year. And then P6, Carthy, P7, Yates, P8, Dan Martin, P9, Marc Soler. And to round up the top 10, we'll have Domenico Caruso.
I mean, that is extensive. That is highly extensive. I feel like I've shortchanged you there with only the podium predictions, but no Emmanuel Buchmann, I noticed, from your top 10.
Nope.
I mean, I quite like Buchmann. I almost put him in the top 5, but I think he'll be a top 10 for sure. I think we can see Buchmann in the top 10. To quickly round out my top 5, I did have Vlasov 4th and Evenepoel in 5th. So those guys I still think will be up there, but just off the podium. I feel like Remco is going to lose time a little bit in the mountains. He'll gain some back in the time trials, but I feel like 21 days of racing for Remco, and you've got him on the podium, I feel like he will slowly lose time over the next 10 days before that time trial. So we'll see. But I feel like Vlasov as well. I don't know. I feel like I underrate Vlasov quite a lot. He's had a very good start to the race, but again, I feel like he may lose some time in the high mountains where this Giro is going to be won or lost. And the reason I have Hugh Carthy so high on the podium again, second year in a row, we'll see Hugh Carthy on the podium of a Grand Tour, is because we have the Monte Zoncolan and the Sega Diala coming up next. 2 climbs with absurd percentages. And we all saw last year on the Angleroo, Hugh Carthy was excellent. So I feel like Carthy's going to do well there, and he's going to gain massive amounts of time in the GC.
Some quick predictions, as I've mentioned, and currently written at the bottom of this paper, which you cannot read, is Carthy wins at the Zoncolan, Vlasov wins at the Sega Diala. However, Carthy loses a heap of time on Cortina d'Ampezzo because the man cannot downhill for shit. And I think this is where he's going to lose it. And I became just very dark for a second. All right, we're back. But I think this is where Hugh Carthy loses the Giro for me. It's not going to be the time trial. It's going to be Cortina d'Ampezzo. And quickly coming back to Remco Evenepoel, I think he jumps on the third place of the podium through the final time trial, but he will be like P5 starting it.
That's fair. That's fair. So you think he'll lose time in the mountains?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait to see. I really can't. I feel like we're all so excited to see him back racing at the beginning of the race. I'm even more excited now to see what he can do now the Giro proper, I feel, is getting underway after this first day. And, you know, some of these guys may have lost this race already and be 20 minutes down after stage 11. So we'll see how long these predictions hold. But hopefully we'll see these guys have a proper fight over the mountain stages, because we have a lot of big mountains coming up, like you say.
Absolutely. Speaking of predictions that may try to hold on, we've got a prediction for the Ciclamino Jersey. There's only one more sprint stage left in this Giro d'Italia. Joe, who will be wearing the Ciclamino in 10 days?
So again, I'm going to go very bold with this prediction. I'm going to go for the current leader of the Ciclamino Jersey, Peter Sagan. He's just got his hands on the jersey after winning stage 10. And to be honest, only one pure sprint stage left. We're going to see other sprinters leave the race. Caleb Ewan, Tim Merlier, they've already left the race. So I feel like we'll see maybe Nizzolo not finish as well, who I thought would be his closest challenger at the beginning of the race. So Peter Sagan, he's going to win the Ciclamino Jersey.
It's fair that you mentioned, so Ewan leaving, Merlier leaving, Groenewegen not arrived yet by the looks of it. And I'm also going Sagan. However, there's a little voice in my head that keeps on saying, hey, look, Davide Cimolai is not that far. And I would really want to see Davide Cimolai because that's such an odd pick. But I think Sagan will win it.
It would be nice. It would be awesome to see Cimolai win it. If not a stage, the man... I think there's stage 15, which could suit him if it becomes a mass sprint. Some hills as well. Probably drop some sprinters. You know, that's his chance for his first Giro stage.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Moving on to the Azura Jersey. Joe, who are you going for?
I think I will go for a rider with currently 0 points in the competition. So I'm going to go for a Portuguese man and last year's winner of the Maglia at Azura. I'm going to go for Ruben Guerrero of EF Nippo. He's got 0 points, like I said, but we have seen him so offensive over the last few days. I'm sure he's got great legs, and I feel like he's going to try and attack for that jersey again. Also, we've had the likes of Gino Maida pick up points, Geoffrey Bouchard as well, and I know that Bouchard said after he lost the stage to Campo Felice, he said, he doesn't care about any jersey. He just got his hands on the blue jersey. He said, I'm not interested in this. I want a stage win. So I can't see Bouchard winning it. I can't see Gino Maida really winning it. I think he'll focus probably on a GC battle in the end with Caruso. So yeah, I'm going to go for Ruben Guerrero.
That's a fair shout. I'm torn between two. I'm torn between Bauke Mollema, who was my pick at the very beginning of this Giro, and Kobe Horsens from Lotto Soudal. First of all, he's got a very cool name, but also, I mean, he's playing for nothing in the GC. Harm van Hoeken, I don't even know if he's still, I think he's still here, but I haven't seen him at all. Thomas de Hent is a shadow of himself. The rest of the team has packed their bags. So I think Kobe Horsens literally has nothing to play for except the Maglia Azura. So I'm going to back the Belgian to win it, or Bauke Mollema. But right now, my pick is on Kobe Horsens, and I'm once again extremely bright. This is great. The lightning has kept on changing. I'm very sorry for those watching it. All right, moving on to the second part. I'm now going to say a few things I read on Twitter and that I find somewhat outrageous, or potentially not. Maybe I do back that statement, but we're going to have a little debate with Joe here. The first off, I mean, you've mentioned earlier Emmanuel Buchmann, that you could get a top 10.
Mm-hmm.
On Twitter, it appears that people are saying that Buchmann got lucky on that Tour de France, and he definitely does not have the legs to do any top 5 on the Grand Tour.
I completely disagree. Emmanuel Buchmann will get a Grand Tour podium in his career. 100% sure of that. And I feel like it won't be this Giro. I feel like he's come off a very difficult 2020. But also, I feel like Buchmann, you know, this would be a great ride for him to get a top 10, solid ride at a Grand Tour again in the legs before pressing on to future endeavours where I'm sure he can get a podium. We saw him climb so well at that Tour de France. So I'm not in agreement with that, I have to say, Guillaume.
Very well, because I don't think he'll ever get a podium, if I'm being honest. I don't think Buchmann will ever get a podium. I think he can get a top 5. not on this Giro, because I don't back him for the top 10, sadly, this year. Sadly for German people and fans of Buchmannsgrohe. But yeah, I think Buchmann's ceiling is a top 5, nothing more. Moving on, we have one that I do agree with, and it is that following his crash on stage 10 or stage 9, I can't remember, Dominica Pozzovo retires from cycling at the end of the year.
At the end of the year.
Yes.
How old is he now? I think he's 38, isn't he?
He is 38 and out of contract.
38 years old. I'm going to say he doesn't retire. I think Pozzovivo goes on to a Conti Pro team.
Okay.
And I'm going to say he goes on to... I mean, Yolo Cometa are interested in Nibali, I hear. So I think they won't go for Pozzo as well. Maybe Bardiani. Let's see. Pozzo to Bardiani. Let's see it happen.
That's the only thing I could see is come back to the source for Domenico Pozzovo. Started at Colnago CSF, ends up at Bardiani CDSF. But if not, I think this is the end of the road for Pozzovo. You've mentioned Vincenzo Nibali, potentially going to Yolo Cometa. I also read that Vincenzo Nibali will never win a GT stage in his career anymore.
Oh, I mean, it all depends on the Sharks' mindset because currently, 10 days into the Giro, he's trying to ride a Grand Tour race. He's trying to ride a GC race. He's trying to win a Grand Tour. He's not trying to win a Grand Tour stage. The man needs to lose time. He needs to accept that he's not going to win the Giro d'Italia again in his career. But he can win a stage if he drops time early on in this Giro. And he can win a stage at this Giro. He just needs to lose time soon enough so he can go in the breakaways. And I feel like we could see Nibali win one more stage at a Grand Tour.
I agree. I would say Cortina d'Ampezzo screams Nibali for me.
Do you really think it's a downhill finish, right? Lots of downhills.
Yep. It's like 25 kilometer downhill. So I think it suits him. But we'll see. It's up to him. Especially that they've got Ciccone as the clear leader of the team. I think Nibali doesn't really have any business trying to go for GC anymore. But that's it for Lo Squalo. We've got 2 more outrageous things. The first one, as a Frenchman, it did hurt me. Attila Valter is a better GC contender than Thibaut Pinot.
As of today, I'm in agreement with that statement because Thibaut Pinot isn't even capable of riding a Grand Tour right now. He's not in a good headspace. He's not in a good physical state either. He was at the Tour of the Alps. He couldn't get a top 30 on a stage. He was nowhere in the GC. And I feel like Attila Valter is only improving every single day he rides a bike. So, Valter, let alone David Gaudu. So Pinot, he needs to step it up, and whether we'll see Thibaut Pinot back at Grand Tours fighting for Grand Tours again is questionable, I would say.
I sadly have to agree, and as a Frenchman, this really, really pisses me off. I can't lie, because we all love Thibaut Pinot. We all do. He's the only man that can make a man cry, if we're being honest. We've got one more outrageous tweet. Jumbo-Visma is nothing if they don't have Primož or Wout van Aert.
Ooh. I mean, I'd almost agree with it, bar for one man. And it's not Sepp Kuss, it's not Tom Dumoulin, it's not Steven Kruijswijk, it's Jonas Vingegaard. I feel like that man is really, really talented. He's improving all the time. The Dane, we've seen him ride very well this year in support of Roglic, and he is going to the Tour de France. So we'll see what he can do there. And I feel like he's going to do great things in his career. So, up the Vingegaard.
Up the Vingegaard. Fair enough. I'd say, I'd also have Tobias Foss, I think, in the list of riders
that should
slightly count for Jumbo. But yeah, remove Wout van Aert and Roglic, and Jumbo struggles way more than they do in real life.
They certainly do. And also, Dylan Groenewegen, I mean, he's nowhere right now at the Giro, so they've even lost their sprint train as well. So it's all about Foss and Vingegaard.
Moving on to the final part of this video, we'll say, or podcast, we're going to go for some quick fire predictions that we think are going to happen. First one I have, Nizzolo wins stage 13, last sprint stage of the Giro, and finally gets his stage win on a Grand Tour.
It's a big thumbs up for me, mate. If he wins that, I'll be delighted. But I'm not sure it will happen. We'll see. He's got Gaviria, who's improving. Milano, I feel like they're finally maybe about to click. They're getting there slowly in the sprints of Milano and Gaviria. Obviously, Sagan looks good as well. Davide Chimolai. So It's going to be difficult still, even without Ewan and Merlier, but I'd love for Nizzolo finally to do it.
Absolutely, it would be unreal. Twitter would blow up. The scenes in like the cycling community would be absolutely massive.
So for my next shout, I'm going to go for a rider also yet to win a Giro d'Italia stage, another Italian. I'm going to say Davide Cimolai wins stage 15 of this Giro d'Italia. That's my early prediction right there. We've got a few hills there. May drop some of the pure sprinters still left in the race if there are any. But I feel like Cimolai, his time is coming. He's had 2 second places at this Giro already, and he's about to win his first Giro d'Italia stage.
So you've got Cimolai to win the stage, but still Sagan to win Ciclamino. So are we having a disaster class of Cimolai on stage 13?
No, we're just seeing Sagan pick up intermediate sprint points left, right, and centre.
No, fair enough. Understandable. It would be jokes. I mean, Israel Startup Nation winning a sprint on the Giro is not something I could have predicted early on this year. Moving on, we have Bernal. Egan Bernal, currently Maglia Rosa. In my opinion, he's going to get 2 more stages on this Giro d'Italia.
2 more stage wins?
2 more stage wins for Egan Bernal.
Do you know, are you going to pinpoint which stages, or is he just going to win mass sprints, or what?
Well, I believe he's going to win stage 13. I'm kidding. He's going to win stage 19 at the Alpe di Mera and seal the deal for the Maglia Rosa. And I also believe he's going to win stage 12 between Siena and Bagno di Romagna.
That's fair. So my next question to you, does Egan Bernal hold the Maglia Rosa all the way to Milan? As in, does he wear it every single day?
Absolutely.
You think he does?
No question about it. Because it follows my next point. Remco Evenepoel will not gain time on Egan Bernal until the time trial.
Yeah, I think I can agree with that, probably. We'll see. But I can't see him.
Speaking strictly on time finishes. So like if you get plus 1 second on a bonus sprint, that doesn't count.
That counts. That's a win.
It doesn't.
We'll see. I mean, we're waiting to see Bernal in the high mountains still. If he's back to his Tour de France 2019 form, let's see. And of course, we're still waiting for Remco in the high mountains as well. We haven't seen him over 2,000 meters properly, I think, before either. Anyway, my next shout. I asked you if Egan Bernal will wear the Maglia Rosa every day to Milan. I don't think he will. I think he'll have a few days out of the Maglia Rosa. And I think that Giulio Ciccone will attack early on stage 16 to Cortina d'Ampezzo. He's going to attack on the Passo Fadaya, 100k to go, up to Gianluca Brambilla, Nibali, Mollema even. They're all waiting for him up the roads, and they're going to carry Ciccone into the Maglia Rosa. Just briefly, Bernal will win the Giro d'Italia, but this move is going to catapult Ciccone onto the podium, away from everyone else who's behind him, so he won't be overtaken on that final time trial, and he will wear the Maglia Rosa.
Okay, wow. I mean, so stage 16 is Cortina d'Ampezzo, yeah?
Yeah.
When does he attack, you said? 100k to go? So like
100k to go.
So like in the first cut, yeah?
So I think there's Passo Fadaya, then Passo Guillaume, and then which is the final climb?
It's Fedaya, I think, Pordoi and Guillaume. It's Fedaya, Pordoi and Guillaume.
Yeah, so he's attacking on the Passo Fadaya, the first big climb that day, ahead of the Pordoi and the Passo Guillaume as well. So we'll see. That's my big shout. Ciccone, he loves to attack early. He's going to do it on stage 16.
Okay. I mean, it would fit him. It would suit him. I just don't think attacking when you know that you've got basically the entire team of Ineos that can chase you is a wise decision. Romain Bardet, Alberto Petiol can tell you about that.
And Ciccone was in that move as well, so he's known to do, let's say, not the smartest on paper moves before.
Absolutely. And speaking of stupid moves, Marc Soler is going to try to attack very early on stage 20 because he's going to want to come back in the top 10 of the Giro d'Italia. He's going to attack at the very start of the Passo San Bernardino, and he's going to lose 12 minutes.
12 minutes. Who's he? Bernal.
Yep, because he thinks he's going to be Alberto Contador, but if anything, he's not. He's going to be like Danny Navarro, max. And he's going to choke.
His best Danny Navarro impression. You heard it here first, guys. Soler to lose 12 minutes precisely on stage 20.
Yep, absolutely. And final prediction from your boy. Stage 18 between Rovereto and Stradella is going to be won by Davide Formolo. You've got him, I think, to win Montalcino. I've got him to win a stage that suits him in Stradella. Flat ass stage until the final 30k with a lot of elevation. And if this doesn't scream Formolo, then I'm deaf.
I mean, I'm not sure. I feel like he'll be still clinging on to the GC by then, and I feel like that's a breakaway stage. I feel like that's a Victor Lafay double.
A Victor Lafay double, yeah?
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, we'll see Victor Lafay then.
But anyway, to recap our GC podiums, I've gone Bernal to win the Magliarosa, Ciccone second, despite there being a 30k time trial, and Hugh Carthy's catapult himself onto the podium. Guillaume?
Well, I went for the sensible picks, right? Because I like to win, as my Velo game team shows. And I've gone Egan Bernal, Alexander Vlasov, and Remco Evenepoel.
So, what I will say to you, they're the current guys at the top of the race. Where were Geoghegan Hart and where was Jai Hindley at this stage of the Giro last year? Geoghegan Hart, I can tell you, was 14th after 10 stages, and Jai Hindley was 7th place. We'll see, mate. There's guys who are going to fly up this leaderboard, I'm sure of it.
So, based off your current saying, you're telling me that Louis Valvaca is going to win the Giro ahead of Dominica Caruso. Is that what we're going for?
Now, that would be bold, but that's not quite what I was going for. Anyhow, guys, that round out our bowls predictions for the rest of the Giro at the first rest day. I'm sure by the second rest day, these will be completely outdated and will look like mugs already. We'll see, Guillaume. Let's hope that's not the case. But guys, if you enjoyed the pod today, make sure you drop likes, good reviews, subscriptions, follows, whichever platform you're on always helps us out. And let us know as well what your predictions are for the rest of the Giro d'Italia. We're very interested to see. And I'm sure some of you will get much better predictions than us. So we'll see. Guillaume, do you have any final words?
Hell, I've got a final sentence. Whilst you go through your predictions, also, please rate my shirt, because my co-host right now keeps on saying it's a 2 out of 10. And I would like you to remind him, that he has no fashion sense. So that's all I'll say. Enjoy your predictions. Hopefully you've had fun. And do not ever forget that Egan Bernal is going to win Magliarosa.
It's a 2 out of 10.